Of course, it is a crime, it is a punishment, but it not mean that this person is not Muslim. If he made tawbah, the lady, she committed this thing, right? And when punished, so some Sahabi said, curse on you. He said, don't say this thing. She made the tawbah. If the 80 worst people are given, their tawbah will be accepted. So it means, for example, this is some kind, it's a tahara. And it means, for example, it is a something. So in that sense, for example, the issue is suppose clear. But I can say you what? Why we raise this question now? I give you the example. The question comes from others. Modern society, right? Developed society, they say it is human right. It is a freedom. If it is happening with consent, no problem, right? And punishment is violation of human rights, right? So we Muslim also make excuse. We say, oh, no, we apologize. No, Islam is not saying this thing. And we just learn from this and that. No. I ask a question. Suppose if you ignore this portion of stoning, the Quran also said if some person did commit adultery, lash him how many? 100 lashes. They will accept? Western system will accept it? They will not accept. Why? Because in their terminology, it is not a crime. It is an instinct. It is a human desire. Right? Islam says, no, it is not desire. You have to control it. And you have to get it by right way. I block this way, but other way is open for you. Go there. So in that sense, the Islam is very clear about this issue, that it is worst kind of situation and there must be some kind of thing. But in our society here, I am living in this society and many people ask me question. It happened to me. They ask, we committed, what we do? I said, make tawbah. Right? Don't do it again. This is the way. This is the only way we can do it. So this question is supposed to be not a real question in this time. But I answered also to explain some points. Okay. Okay, it is a question, it is a mandatory to shave head after the Umrah. The question is good, but the word is not good. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he did Umrah first time, and he was not able to, he went again. So he shaved. He shaved his head. And some people shaved it, but they asked. So he said, Rahim Allahu al-Muhalliqeen. Allah make mercy for those who are shaving. So some people ask, what about those who are trimming or cutting? Again he said, Rahim Allahu al-Muhalliqeen. So he said how many times? 3 times. Right? And last time he said, Rahim Allahu al-Muqassireen. So ulama and fuqaha agreed that both are under Sharia. The difference is what? In reward. All this is also okay and this is also okay. But what is important to understand 2 things. First thing, suppose if someone changed his clothing of Umrah without cutting or shaving, what will happen then? He must pay 1 goat as a fidya. Right? It is one thing. Second thing is that Imam Shafi said, if you are taking just like this portion of your from any pierce, it is okay. Right? For Imam Abu Hanifa, he said, at least you take 1/3 from your whole head, little bit. But this hukum is for men or for women both, or for only men? For both? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kept women with their hairs, right? So he said, Rasulullah said, don't, what it is? Right, this I'm saying. This I'm saying, it's called cutting, not shaving whole. Okay. Okay, the question is, what can I do if if my parents have made me join their mortgage as a co-signee uh, years back, and I was not aware of its huge, prohibition. Now I want to get out, but it is difficult, and it will make huge difficult for my parents. What I do in this situation? This is really a very practical question, and most of the families are, for example, in different ways, for example, involved in it. So best solution is to come out from this thing. Go from mortgage to Islamic finance. Islamic finance is also available, though it is not. Yani I can say that the need is bigger and the supply is very less, but you can go to Ansar housing, cooperative system of ISNA, and also another Islamic financing are available, which is making Islamic financing. So it is best to, for example, come out from that thing. Second thing is that if you are not feeling good, you can say, for example, I just surrender my name from here, I withdraw my name, so you can do it. And but better thing to also save them from this kind of mortgage. So this is 2-3 ways, for example, we can do. If you ask me, I can give you some names, those who can do Islamic financing. Can you buy a house, car using conventional interest bearing mortgage? If not, is there any exception to this? Okay. So again, the same question is coming. Mortgage is mortgage. First thing, we must agree, and we don't want to play with words, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala don't love with us hila. Hila means tricks. We play with it. It is not allowed in Islam. But sometimes it happens that I commit a sin, I admit it, and I intend to come out or to leave it and so on. So it is at least one option. So some of our ulama, some means few, not everyone, though their opinion is that if you are living in non-Muslim country, Islamic finance is not available, and house in our original position is not necessity. House is not necessity. So you can live by rent, you can live by some share and so on. But in Canada, house is necessity. You cannot live in tent, right? You cannot just live in shade. So they say when house is need and there is no some kind of facility available without conventional, you can take one house for your only need. So this is the fatwa. My suggestion under this fatwa is three things. First thing, it is Islamic ruling that darura or necessity will be under darura. What it means? Suppose first thing I will check, can I survive a rental place? Can I survive with this kind of these things? Suppose other are not available. Sometimes it happens, you have a big family and nobody renting you. Or rent may be so and so. Or sometimes you are forced to leave every time, new place and so on. So there is the first thing, you must discover that other option, good option is not available. Second thing is darura will be under darura. What it means? I need 3 bedroom, so I will not buy 4 bedroom. Right? This is darura. And the third thing is that I will do my effort to get rid from it as possible, as quick. As quick I can do, right? So it means, for example, if someone can apply, can get these position, he can use this fatwa. Okay? Not for everyone. I'm saying, yani, don't take my word that I'm saying for everyone. I'm saying this fatwa will be applied this way, with these conditions. Islamic inheritance. If you have a non-Muslim family members, would they eligible for your inheritance? Yeah, this is a good question. You know what? Our hadith says, لا يتوارث أهل ملتين. Two different religious person cannot share inheritance. Right? It is hadith. So we agreed among our all fuqaha that inheritance cannot be given if there are three things happen. One, a person intentionally killed, suppose the person who is giving him inheritance, suppose he killed his father, so he will not get inheritance. Second thing, he become out atheist or out of Islam. He just like murtad, we call murtad, right? So if he rejected Islam, so this person will not get. Third, the person is living in a land of war against Islam, Darul Harb. So this person will not get. And under this hadith, the two people will not exchange their inheritance. So it is agreed. But there are some scholars, they say that one way it is allowed, not other way. So Muslim can take inheritance from his non-Muslim father. Suppose he become Muslim and father is non-Muslim. He can take, but not opposite. Why? What is the reason? Hadith says, Al-Islamu ya'lu wa la yu'la alayh. Islam supposed to be in upper, not a lower. So they use this, but the original position is that there should not be exchange of inheritance between non-Muslim and Muslim. But 1/3 wasiya is allowed. So suppose his son Muslim and his father is suppose non-Muslim, but he want to give him some kind of thing, so he can give from 1/3, not from miras, right? This is good. Yes, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
This is my personal question. We have got our holy book from the God to follow. We have got our prophet, his sunnah, his seerah to follow. Then we got the life of the Sahabas to follow. Then we got the hadith, Imam Bukhari. Then came the four Aimah, Abu Hanifa, Malik. Now, we always listen, they are right. Everywhere they are right. But nowadays, I am listening to some ulama and they say you follow Hanfi. If you are following Abu Hanifa, you don't follow Abu Shafi, Imam Shafi, or Imam Malik. Why this is happening? Because this makes a great difference. Like 2 nights before, I heard him that if I am praying Asr in Haram, which is early part of Asr, and if I am Hanfi, my prayer is invalid. I can't pray in Haram, Asr pray, if I'm Hanfi. If I'm Shafi, I can pray. What's the reason? I'm not Muhammadi. Muhammad has prayed earlier Asr also and later Asr. This is my main question. Because it's giving conflict in the mind of many people.
Okay. So I start with one hadith. Hadith say that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Makkah time, not in Makkah period, not in Medina, Jibreel came to him and he laid one day Fajr, Zuhur, Asr, Maghrib and Isha. And he laid the beginning time of all 5 prayers. Beginning time of all 5 prayers, right? When the Fajr starts, the Suhoor, when Suhoor finish, right? It is beginning. Next day, he prayed the end time, before sunrise, right? When the shadow was for Zuhur, first day, one shadow, just like this shadow is this way. And next day, when shadow become double. Even he prayed before sunset for Asr. And Maghrib, but he prayed both time, Maghrib, same place, time. Isha, early time, and then the midnight. And he said, الوقت بين وقتين لك ولهذه لك لأمتك. Yani this is the time for you and for your ummah thing. So now this is the hadith. Now we are Muhammadi or not? We are Muhammadi, okay. We agreed now. Okay. So our ulama, they also Muhammadi. They also. So all agreed that praying, offering salat in the beginning or in the middle or in the end, all are okay. All are okay. So if you prayed in the beginning, it is okay. In the middle, at the end, it is there. Now, up to now we are Muhammadi. The third point is also I want to go give you a little bit. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, he is also Muhammadi, right? Himself Muhammadi or not? Right? He is Muhammadi. So many times he praised some either early time or end time. For example, he said, pray Fajr with little bit light. Zuhur little bit late. Who said this thing? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now our ulama, following the first hadith ijma, but the second part they say which portion is afdal, little bit better. So Imam Shafi said praying earlier is afdal, is more rewardful. Imam Abu Hanifa said praying more rewardful, and both are following hadith. No, both are following hadith, right? This is the issue. So the issue is haram and halal or afdal and ghair afdal. Just say to me, which is the difference? Afdal and afdal. It means what? If you prayed according to Shafi, so maybe you not prayed afdal, but your prayer is okay. And Imam Abu Hanifa is not disputing with you. Okay? So it means that we are creating problem and we are blaming Imam Abu Hanifa. It is we. If I understood the fiqh in right way, we can understand. So I give you one example. Suppose it is my understanding, the one shadow to two shadow, and then two shadow to up to sunset, it is Asr time. One shadow or two shadows Zuhur time. But Imam Abu Hanifa considered two shadow, Asr, and one shadow to Imam Shafi. So in my understanding, it means that this one shadow to shadow is common time for Zuhur and Asr. What it means? If you pray Zuhur, it will not be Qada. And if you pray Asr, it will be also Ada. Not two prayer. This time, both prayer in this time, not two prayer. It is other issue. Jama issue is different. I am not talking about it. I want to say that the fiqh is very exact in the wording. Just like if you do poetry, you can make a huge extreme point, right? But in fiqh, your measurement will be by millimeter. So when I said both time are shared, I didn't say it is to Jama. Yeah.
Like you say, it is afdal or non-afdal. If Prophet says this time is afdal and this time is non-afdal.
No, hadith, based on hadith. Based on hadith. But the issue is that it is a fiqh that suppose if you are say I will pray here according to my timing and Jama'ah is there, and when you are praying nobody joined you, what reward you missed? What is reward you missed? So if you pray with Jama'ah, even you are not following Afdal, still you are getting more reward. So it is fiqh.
My question was that if I'm praying in Haram, they say you can't, your prayer is not valid. Who is saying? That is what I'm saying. Why?
I am quoting Kitab and Sunnah. I am not quoting the person who is talking to you. I don't know from where he took it, but I am talking what is Quran and Sunnah, right? And I say you, this is not the only issue. I lived in Makkah and Medina 24 years, right? So I saw in Medina, some people, they consider these people not Muslim, not right, and don't pray behind them. So this is also one of the issues. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Sahab.
Assalam.
My question is regarding in Quran there are many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Kul siru fil earth के बाद है कि आप देखें हड्डियों में कैसे हमने कुछ चढ़ाया फिर ये कि हमने कैसे बस्तियों को तबाह किया तो इससे थोड़ा सा वजाहत करेंगे इसकी कि इससे क्या मुराद है कुल सिरू फिल अर्थ से.
Yeah. So the question is actually that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, go and take a journey of planet and see. So there are three purposes behind it. Three purposes. First purpose is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ بَدَأَ الْخَلْقِ. Go and see how the creation started, how this universe created, right? It is one of the purpose. And those who discover galaxies and kind of these things, this is a journey. And this journey is supposed to be journey of science plus iman. This is the reason, right? If I'm just like discovering it, I don't connecting with creator, I'm missing. Second, Quran says, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Those who were good people, how they were successful, right? And other is who were the mujrimeen. Now, if you go to Roman, or you go to Pharaoh, or you go to other countries, go there. If you study their history, you will see that they were most powerful people in their time, right? And when their downfall happened, they were most successful, most resourceful person in their time. But why they went down, right? Why they went down? And this is actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Quran, Sunnatullah. Sunnatullah means two things, law of nature and law of rise and fall. Rise and fall. Rise and fall never happened when you have no resources, you have no money. No. It happened when your ethics, morality go down. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we destroyed these people bizunubihim, because they were sinners. So this is the ibra we have to learn from it. Yes. This is a question about the qada for the women if they are missing. They have to do to compensate it or can do fidya. The rule is that if this is a number less, suppose if they are missing period time, so they can do it. They have to do it. They have to do qada. But if the missing time is bigger, just like suppose pregnancy time or delivery time, right? So they can do, two options are there. Either they can do some fasting and fidya, or they can do whole fidya. Both are okay.
Dr. Sahab, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
My name is Jilani. My question does not pertain to the faith, but it is very relevant for the situation we are passing. At one point of time, the Ummah was at the top in bravery, in education, in everything. Time passes away, and now we see that entire Ummah, entire Muslim world is lagging behind. Where we did the mistake? What happened? Why we are back and begging everywhere?
How much time you will give me for this answer? You are talking about 1400 years history, and you want me a 5 minutes answer.
I want to add one thing.
Okay. No, I'm just saying.
Just I want to add,
Okay.
let me allow to add one thing. Gibbon in his book, The Fall of Roman Empire, mentioned that he three civilizations he mentioned in his book. And he said the only reason why this fall occurred to those civilizations is they part away from basic education and development in human brain and history. So all plus the ethics you have said. So I want to understand and know from you what is the main reason why we lack.
So, I will just establish fundamental, basic to answer your question. First thing is that either we say Islam is failure, so it is not able to compete with modern challenges. It is one fundamental, right? You say Islam was successful in old days, in tribal time, in Bedouin time, but cannot compete. It is one answer. It is one. And many people, they go with this idea. They say we have to change Islam, we have to modify Islam, we have to update Islam, and so on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He proved in early generation, and not only generation, the first century, at least 7 centuries, right? Yani, I have a lot of things to say about this issue, but I'm saying, for example, we have a golden era. So our ideal time was 30 years of Khilafat. But our practical time, when we were still living with Islam, with some weaknesses, with some lapses, we have 700 or 800 years time, right? So it means that Islam proved that Islam can lead us to our highest position if we follow it. So it means, for example, I will go to with this thesis to antithesis, that it means we are lacking to follow Islam truly. If we follow it truly, we will be back as our previous were successful. It is the first thing. Second thing is that, you know what, Muslims are totally different from all other nations for one reason. Their job is only to discover universe, to live in this dunya, to enjoy with it. And they need only one thing, to follow the law of nature, to discover it and to implement it. Right? If they do it, they will achieve it. Whatever religion they follow, whatever faith they follow, whatever they say. But Muslims, they need to follow two things together. To follow Sharia of Allah for their lifestyle, to make their akhirah better. And to follow Sunnatullah, to follow the discovery of this universe. Suppose if I am a very great Muslim, I am doing dua, tahajjud, everything, but I don't know how to cook this tea. I cannot do with dua that Allah make tea for me and I don't know how to cook it. I have to go with rule of it. So Islamic Muslims' responsibility double. What happened in our history, we faced many challenges. Political, army, invasions, crusaders, but we survived. But last time we failed because the invasion was not only military-wise, it was mind-wise, intellectual. They invaded us from the education, from things. Now the Muslims, they have to face this challenge with also وَأَعِدُّ لَهُمْ مَسْتَطَعْتُم مِّن قُوَّةٍ. Prepare yourself, whatever ability you have, you can do it. So, you know, I give you, it is not going to learn. I give you simple math. Simple math. If there are two powers in this universe, two powers, and both are kafir, which one will win? And they are fighting each other. Which one will win? Two kafirs. Which one will win? Powerful, okay. Any other answer? Lesser in evil. Lesser in evil. Right? It is not the issue of deen, but because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed human, Muslim and non-Muslim, to run the affair, the planet nicely. So suppose two are kafir, but the one is nasty and a little bit, so Allah will give them chance to. Very example, this Russian empire collapsed in a minute, in 50 years, right? And up to now, this UK, France, Western power is still surviving. Why? If you compare them, you will see that they were most severe in their problem than this, right? If the clash is between kafir and munafiq, who will win? Munafiq. This is not Allah's rule. The person who is sincere about his belief, even he is a kafir, he deserves more. So the win will be for kafir, not for munafiq. And is there any fight between kafir and believer? What will be the rule? Who will win? Believer. If we are not winning, so we are not following Islamic rules. This is the, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not taking my side because my name is Iqbal. He will see me that my action is right or not. Right? I am sincere or not. This is the important thing. So Rasul of the time, Sahaba, they were believers. And they were prepared whatever they can do it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed them. And whenever Islam appeared with true Islam, it never be defeated. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna lanansuru rusulana wallazina amanu fil hayati dunya wa yawma yaqumul ashhad. It is my promise that I will support my Nabi and my followers in dunya and akhirah. So if you have a 50% and you got 50% from Allah, who will win? And the kafir, if they have a 100%, but they have no support of Allah. So you are 50% equal to their 100%. And this is the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 1 to 2, right? The comparison between Muslim and non-Muslim is 1 to 2. जी जी आप ऑन नहीं है शायद.
Going back to the original question about the adultery.
About?
Adultery.
Oh, okay.
And stoning to the death. One of my very well-educated, deep-rooted knowledge, he was making a discussion with me. He was making a discussion with me about where is the Quran is mentioned about the stoning or death. I did not have the answer. Although in Sayakul Sipara, God has mentioned about the qasas. And second thing on the Juz 15, where you mentioned, La taqrabu zina innahu kana fahishatan wa sa'a sabila. So he was making that, this is not allowed. But however, he showed me a video clip that Muslims are stoning a person, right in his hands, and then they started throwing stone and making him killed. So he said, where it is mentioned there, it regardless whether we are in Canada or we are in the middle Muslim countries or another part of the planet. So there was a bit confusion because I did not have a proper answer. I said, I don't know, because in the Quran, I have not read about the stoning, I heard it. Qasas, I know it. Okay, that's because God has mentioned in Sayakul Sipara, and the God has mentioned in the 15 Jews. So I don't know, how I can go back and convince him that the adultery is, the stoning to the death is still allowed or is not allowed. Because it doesn't matter whether we are in Canada or we are not in Canada. Important thing was there, the action taken, the person to kill him with the painful stoning to death. A human being, when he sees and he says, oh, this is terrible, death. But I don't know, how I can convince him, and how you can please explain in a better way. Thank you.
So what is the relation between qasas and stoning? For what? So it is same to stoning? Why we are mixing it? No, we are mixing it. No. I am taking, for example, when we are limiting to ourselves to stoning, so we have a hudud. 5 hudud in Islam described. One is qasas, one is stealing, cutting hand, right? One is qazaf, cursing someone, blaming someone. So they are different things. We should not mix all these things. First thing. Second thing is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how many years lived in Makkah? How many years he lived in Makkah? 13 years, right? How many times he established qasas there? How many times he established qasas there? How many times? You have any zero, right? Why? He was a prophet and the hukum of Sharia was there. Why he not implemented? When he moved to Medina, and he established a system. A system means what? Political system, judicial system, right? And for example, all kind of whatever you say in a state-like responsibilities. Then he started, right? And even in Medina, he cut the hand of a stealing person before he provided food him or after provided food him. You will study all the ahkam came later. Why? Because Islam want to provide facilities to implement right things. If some person still want to do bad, then the journey of hudud starts. Right? So Rasulullah time you can see that the drinking after many years, cutting hand after many years, and qasas established after many years, and even that kind of these things. So it means, for example, Islam is not talking about some ahkam one-sided. Islam first bring the replacement, provide the environment, and not leave any kind of excuse for someone. And this is the reason why in the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, a drought spread. So he said there will be no stealing cut off hand because this is drought. Right? And there is a hadith which said there is no hudud in Darul Harb. When there is a land of warrior, land of fighting against Islam, there will be no implementation of these things. So it means, for example, it is not just one ayah and two ayah and just cooking it and to make a whole issue. Our fuqaha, they did a great job to bring all these ahkam together and to establish a hukum from it. So we need a little bit study, not to jump asking question. Question is okay, but creating objection or why it is happening, it is not good idea. So we need to make more study about it. Jazakumullah khair. Okay. So we stop here, inshallah, right? You have no questions, so it is okay. Shakil Sahib is very convinced with all the things.
Are we good to ask more questions?
Inshallah.
If you're comfortable, if you want to go home, then we can ask another.
Inshallah.
You're okay? Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
So I have a few practical questions.
Yeah.
So for example, when we're praying Maghrib or Isha, and there's Jamaat happening in Masjid and you come late.
Okay.
So if I join a third rakat, or for Isha, if I'm joining the fourth rakat, is that my first rakat? And then can you just kind of explain the steps that I have to do? So if, for example, Maghrib, I catch a third rakat. Am I doing Fatiha plus Surah? Am I just doing Fatiha? And then when the Imam does Salam, am I doing one and then sitting down again and then one? Can you just explain the process for that?
For missing rakat you are asking, right? For making, yeah, after anything. So, suppose you missed one rakat only. And you prayed with Imam 3 and you prayed 1. So it is the last one you will start, it will be your first rakat. So what do you do in your first rakat? Sana, and then but same thing you will do. If you are missing 2, same thing again, right? But if you are missing 3, you will do two things. First thing, you will start your first rakat, but you will sit after first rakat. Why? To make the last 2 even. Do you understand the point? Maghrib, yeah, if you miss all 3, then you will pick in no more. But if you miss 4 rakat and you missed you got 1 and you missed last 3, so then you will pray 1 rakat and you will sit, right? And then you will stand up and you make second rakat with surah and Fatiha and surah, and then the last third with only Fatiha. But you will take the last 2 together. Yeah.
the follow-up question that I have, it's regarding dua with in Jamaat. So maybe people have reached out to you. I'm sure you've seen those clips on Instagram. There's a very popular sheikh. Maybe you know who I'm talking about. He says that doing dua after namaz is absolutely bid'ah. So if you notice, some masjids, you must make dua after namaz in Jamaat. But some masjids, they say, no, this is very wrong. So does Islam allow for us to make dua in Jamaat? I know it's a fiqh issue, but is it okay to do it? Is it not okay to do it? What's your...
I will advise, if you have a translation of Kitabul Azkar Nawawi, Imam Nawawi, he wrote a book about the dua. It is in Arabic, but I think it is translated also. If you go there, some ahadith, just like suppose you are talking about masjid, and you say, brother, be careful about your steps and door. Other time you say, be rather careful when you are going in musalla. The third time you say, be rather equal when you washroom. So you are talking about 4, 5, 6 things separately. All are linked to masjid or not? And you can link it, right? So suppose Rasulullah said in hadith, one hadith, the best time after salat is after salat. The best time of dua, many time, or there many time, but of the best time is after salat. It is one hadith. The second hadith says, when you do dua, raise your hand. Right? And then third hadith says, when you raise your hand, when you finish, you make just like on your face. This is a third hadith. Fourth hadith says, this is not good imam if he make dua for himself only. All these hadiths are separate, but we join, what will be the result? It's the right dua. It is the issue. But we are fighting with extremeness to extremeness. Right? So in our countries, especially in India and Pakistan, the dua is must part of salat. If you leave it, you are violating. It is extremeness. Other extremeness is no need of dua. So balance is, dua is okay, but it is not part of salat. So if you leave it earlier, it is okay. But if you do it, it is not any issue. And other hadith, when Imam say in salat, Surah Al-Fatiha, what we say, Ameen, right? Same thing about dua also. When Imam saying something, so say Ameen. If you are not doing jointly, how I will say Ameen? So it means, for example, the wordings are, I can say, scattered, but if you combine, then you can see the result of it.
One last quick question for you. Can you explain the hadith where, I believe it was Ibn Abbas, that said that the Prophet combined Zuhr Asr without any reason? Can you give the context? Because some say that you can do...
Abdullah ibn Abbas, actually, he want to explain that some people, they think that the Jamaat combination is only in traveling. So for this, he said Rasulullah one time he did in Masjid Nabawi, he was not traveling, but he combined. So he want to say that it is also allowed. And this point is not disagreed among our scholars. Only thing which is disagreed, it should not be permanent. There is the only thing. Just I give you, in our time, I give you example. Suppose you are you are a doctor, and you want to make a 6 hour surgery, right? And you are not able to pray every salat on time. You can do Jama. Or you have an exam or some kind of thing, or you are going in winter time and you are not able. So in these things you can do it. So my advice always do it when need, but not make it regular.
Again, Dr. Saf, with you. My question is there any hadith supporting that the Isha prayer should be shortened comparing to the Fajr prayer, because in the Isha people are tired, okay, and they have done a complete, they have been busy for the whole day, and the Fajr people, when they get up, they are fresh, when they are fresh. So is there any supporting hadith in this?
Okay. And the first thing is that Rasulullah ﷺ advised that any salat with jama'ah, the imam should be mindful about the pupils and must be careful about the weakers of them. One Sahabi, he was a shepherd. So he was praying in Quba, and Sahabi was praying longer salat recitation. So he break it and come to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So Rasul said, you are creating a fitna and you are making people run away from salat. So it is not Fajr or Isha issue. It should be any salat. Right? So the example of our ulama, they said, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mostly prayed just like Vashams Vaduha, Vallayl and so on. So he said it is the standard. But if sometime you want to prolong and people agree, then you can do it, it's not the issue. But making shorter is a good thing, or balance, not shorter or so on. Second thing is that this is a kind of Maghrib issue, it's a little bit different because Maghrib, they say it is very short time. So what they said, they don't prolong for it. I was one time in Egypt, Ramadan time, and I prayed there Taraweeh. So one masjid, they were praying Surah Al-Baqarah in Maghrib. Surah Al-Baqarah. And other place I prayed there, they praying 4 rakat in the Lam Tara Kaif. 4 rakat. So you can make a whichever choice, and your choice is there. But Islam says always be mindful and balanced. Even Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he heard child is crying, so he shortened his salat. Okay. Yes, brother.
Just a quick question about using a different language in Salah to make dua, other than Arabic.
It is very good question. And now very popular answer is you can do any language, right? And Allah understand every language. So it is the answer. But listen, Salat is ibadah. Ibadah. What it means? Suppose I am eating. Eating is ibadah or not. It may be ibadah. But if it is ibadah, only ibadah, I cannot eat except one meal. But I can eat any kind of food. But I will do good niyyah, I do halal, I eat halal, then it is ibadah. So ibadah means which is the purpose and the means, both are prescribed by Sharia. Right? So offering salat, making wudu, standing, ruku, and so, is it my choice? I have to do the purpose of to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the means is prescribed by Sharia. So one of the mean is language. So I cannot go with other language except Arabic in ibadah. After ibadah, I am free to do anything. Anything, no difference. Fard and sunnah, no difference except choice. But when you started, can you do nafil without wudu? Or can do one sajda, not two sajda? No choice. Okay. What niyyah means? What niyyah means? No, what niyyah means, I am asking you. Intention comes from where? From heart. Now, if you are asking me, I can answer about myself. I'm not asking who are saying and so on. Right? So it is not a social media issue that some people like or so on. First thing, we agreed, all ulama agreed, that the intention is from heart. This is no division in it. Only issue is that are we allowed to say by mouth or no? So we have evidence from hadith which say sometime by wording. Suppose if I go Umrah, there is a wording for it or not? There's a wording, not intention only. So it means wording is okay. But the real thing is intention. So if you are coming here for Isha, right, so you already have intention. So your job is done. But if you say I am praying or making, it is allowed or not allowed, it is the issue of only. Some people say it is not yani mandatory, so not allowed. Others say no, it is okay. But this is the difference. Yeah. Sisters, oh, from sister, oh, you are very late to now. Give them chance. They should be. The question is inheritance. First thing we must understand what we mean in will. In Islam, will is only 1/3. Yeah. The other portion is described by Allah, not our choice. So this is agreed. Hadith says, La wasiyata li warisin. The one who already getting inheritance, no wasiyah will be for him or her. This is agreed among the scholars.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Saab. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
My question is, if we are going to Saudi and not sure whether you're going to perform Umrah or not, and you cross Miqat, and you're not still sure you're going for Umrah or not, so in that situation, can you go to Masjid Aisha and do niyat, make a niyat and do Umrah?
There the question is a little bit yani not clear, but I can answer that if
Like we were at the airport and we had no intention for the Umrah, but circumstances changed, the flight got cancelled, so now we have 24 hours. So we thought we should do Umrah.
okay. So if a situation happened that some person is going for Umrah but not sure, and he landed to Jeddah. So Jeddah is inside Miqat. Yani you should make ihram before you land. So if you landed there and then you planned, so you will do ihram from the spot you landed, not to Masjid Aisha. You understand the point? And same thing happens, suppose if you go to stay with your some relatives in Jeddah and you landed there. So you can do, but you will do again Umrah ihram from there.
But in sister's situation, you don't put ihram.
Sorry?
So there is no ihram for sisters. That's for a brother. Like you're putting ihram on.
Yeah, but Nia is there.
Okay, just the
Yeah,
niyat.
yeah, you have to do Nia.
Just
Yeah. And this is the same thing. Yeah, Nia is actually even I can give you another little bit tricky solution. Suppose you did ihram, you take ihram, and not ihram, you are just in a normal dress for men, right? Or for women it is easy, but for men you take normal thing. But you landed and you change your ihram, so still it is okay because you did niyyah before you land. So little time with your normal dress is not making you any problem. It is trick to get something. Okay. Jazakumullah khair. So inshallah we have every Thursday, not this only Thursday, inshallah. Yeah.
Traveling from Medina to Makkah, it's necessary we should perform Umrah.
This is according to Hadith or Quran, it should be. But according to Imam Shafi'i, he used a Hadith which says, Man arada al-hajja bil umrah. Anyone who is intending to go to Makkah and he is intending to do Umrah or Hajj, then he should go with Ihram. But Imam Abu Hanifa considered that you must take Ihram even you are not intending to do Umrah. So there are two opinions, but Hadith is a little bit supporting Imam Shafi because it is for intention. Yeah. رب يسر ولا تعسر وتم بالخير اللهم علمنا الخير اللهم علمنا علما نافعا. Allah give us tawfiq of seeking knowledge, and our ilm should be our support for our good amal, and our amal should be our point of success and pleasure from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen.